You know who made it.
Live from LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, or X, Twitch, Facebook. Did I mention YouTube? And of course, LinkedIn. It's Revening's Whiskey Wednesday, Revenue Party people. Welcome to the show. Of course, we've got hot topics, hot prizes, and even hotter guests as always every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And I have all the comments or the things you need to comment to win, to enter to win the prizes we have tonight. But let me get into that really quick. We have some brief announcements. So, of course, if you like what you see tonight, come on over and subscribe to the newsletter. We'll do a recap of this show in the newsletter next week and also let you know what's about to come up. It goes out every Wednesday. So definitely subscribe to the newsletter. If you didn't notice on the topics with the video, this is what we're talking about today with the guests you're going to meet here very shortly. And of course, the awesome Lydia. Welcome to the show, Lydia.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. You are the best co-host. Thank you so much for joining. Yes.
It's like the highlight of my week, especially now when I don't have like a real job to report to every day. I'm not working my tail off with the Ruby project and landing my new role. But yeah, this is literally the best hour of my week.
Aw, thanks for saying that. Can you tell everyone about the Ruby project? What are you doing over there?
Oh, it's kind of the brainchild of a couple of marketing friends of mine and me, Shannon Yost and Allison Little. I mean, we really just noticed this big gap between sales and marketing and then the gap in enablement. And so we wanted to create something that could really help enable salespeople with, courses, coaching, consulting, whatever they need to be successful. So I do have a special offer for you guys. I'll remind you later, but anybody who's attending the show tonight is going to get 20% off of our email course. I'll put the promo code in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions. But yeah, it's called The Project because it's our side thing and it's taken a little bit of building, but we're really excited and proud.
I'm proud of you too. That's awesome. I love that you've launched a course and thank you so much for sharing 20% off. That's with everyone in the audience?
Every single person. I'll put the code in the chat for you.
Oh, thank you, Lydia.
And then of course, somebody will win a totally free course as one of the prizes. But let's spread the winning for everybody.
Yes, so 20% off for everyone, and then I'll show you the prizes here in just a moment. But of course, I love Le Tote, so if you are a lady, you may want to check out Le Tote. It is an app that curates the clothes that I wear. It's My pink suit is from Le Tote here. I'm actually not wearing Le Tote tonight, but usually I do. And right now I'm just waiting on my next box to come. But it curates everything based on size and style preference. So I'm a big fan of it. And you can get a free box here that you can try out. And if you don't like it, you just send it right back. But I'm a big fan of it. And Reviting, we are signing up clients for our unique approach for live streaming and podcasting. And as we do with Whiskey Wednesday, we help other brands do the same thing. So if you're looking to build your brand through the personal brands of yourself and your employees, one really great way to do that is through a live stream. And if you're going to do a live stream, you might as well repurpose it for a podcast. And if you're going to do a podcast, you might as well first do it for a live stream and put it in front of your audience where they actually are on LinkedIn or these other channels. But speaking of that, we're on multiple channels tonight. So if you're on Facebook, let us know. YouTube, let us know in the comments, where are you tuning in from? And I'm going to bring Lydia back up here for this because she always even says it better for me. But we've got like one more spot for one more logo, maybe for Q4.
Yep, it's getting tight. But yeah, if you want to get your brand in front of all the viewers of Whiskey Wednesday, you want to get some warm leads on a weekly basis, you want people talking about your company, definitely reach out to us about sponsorships. We only have one spot left for Q4. So let me know if you'd like to chat. We can work something out. And then also thinking about 2024, if you're trying to come up with ways to get more visibility, more brand affinity, again, warm leads, let's talk.
Definitely. We help SaaS brands get users, plain and simple. We're teaching people about some of the best software solutions out there. And a lot of the ones that Whiskey Wednesday adopts early, they end up going bigger. So keep an eye out on some of these that we're going to be talking about tonight. But we've got prize one, put #creativity to enter to win my coaching program, Taking Up Space Online. We go over marketing strategy and audience. We have my Glass Ceiling Shatterer framework. It's a group coaching session that meets 4 times a week, just not on Thursdays at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. So if that time works for you and you want to show up, we're doing a lot. I mean, the students in there, if you're one of my students in the show and you're watching, could you please let people know like what you're learning from there? Because I don't even have time to go into all the stuff we get into, but many are growing exponentially on LinkedIn. They're learning how to do creative with carousels. Some of them are doing live streaming and learning how to do live streaming. So we're doing quite a bit in there. #email will enter you to win Task Minions, and then tell them about your course, Lydia.
Yeah, the cold email course, it's really just the simplest way to approach writing emails to people that are relevant and impactful. I give you frameworks that are scalable, repeatable. Again, everybody here is going to get 20% off if you want to sign up, and somebody will get a free course.
Loves it. And of course, Task Minions, they are a VA service that helps me with Whiskey Wednesday. And there's another VA service that's going to be sponsoring Whiskey Wednesday.
Woo-hoo.
So, this is a really great place to promote your VA service because guess what? People like working with VAs. And so Task Minions, they give out a little bit of a prize here for you to test out working with them. And we'll have another VA prize to announce at one point. But prize 3 is Lavender. I can't say enough about Lavender. Like, go look at their brand. They're like the ideal brand on LinkedIn for one. But what they're really doing is they're offering a solution that helps you write your cold emails with AI. And, so this helps you with your tone, the words you're saying, keeping it concise. And those of you in the comments who use Lavender, again, tell us about it because I'm not going to do it justice in the short amount of time I have because I need to go into Headset Advisor. And so tag Headset Advisor to enter to win this headset. Prize 4. Prize 5 is OpenBox. I'm going to put you up here, Lydia. Tell us all about OpenBox. Oh, no.
Sorry. I'm so happy George and I got to know each other. He's really built something awesome. I'm a user of Lavender. I love it. It helps me fine tune emails that I've already written. But when I really don't know what to say or where to start, and my own frameworks don't work for specific situations, OpenBox is really good at helping you create content from scratch. So definitely check them out.
Awesome. And I just lost the back of my earring, so it's probably going to fall out during the show. But hey, let's move into prize 6. So Page.io. This is going to be actually from one of our guests tonight. So I'm going to save this one and let him explain it. And then we have 1 month free of Salesfinity from our other guest who we get to bring on here in just a moment. And next week, this is the last thing before you get to see our awesome guests. These are our guests for next week. So tag them if you know them. Otherwise, go follow them. And I'm going to pull up our faces so you can see them and get our guests in here. Welcome to the show, Mavlon Beck and Neil. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Hi, Lydia. Thanks for having us.
Hey. Absolutely. So if you could, I'm going to pull up a clock for 2 minutes. Mavlon Beck, could you fill up that time and tell the audience who you are as much as you can about your story? People want to know your founder story. Like, where are you from? Like, how did you become who you are so that you could create this awesome tool?
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. I'm very excited to be here. My name is Mavlon Beck, and originally I'm from a country called Uzbekistan, and I studied there, and then I was studying law there, and once I realized it's not for me, I decided to go to a business school where I started learning, and there I decided I need to move to the United States because all the tech is happening, because I learned about a place called Silicon Valley, and it sounded so amazing. So I decided to move to California when I was 20, leaving behind everything, friends, family, everything that I had, and starting my life all over again. So it was a little tough in the beginning, but I came with all the passion and dreams and started studying here, doing businesses, some success and some not. And one of the businesses I started was called Research AI. Basically, it helped marketers to write content at scale. Right now, everybody knows about ChatGPT, but 3 years ago, nobody knew about it, and I had kind of waitlist access to it. So built a tool with that, and that tool was really successful, and later was acquired. During this process, I learned about the challenges of B2B prospecting, and that's when one of my friends suggested, we were brainstorming and had come up with the idea for Salesfinity. And basically what we do is help SDRs and account executives generate pipeline at scale, have 20 to 30 cold call conversations on the phone every single day. And yeah, this is about me so far.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. And you didn't even take up the whole time. So could you tell everyone really quick about the prize that you so gratefully shared with us tonight? I'm very grateful for it. And there's one lucky winner who's going to get it. So what will that include?
Yeah, absolutely. We are giving away 1 month of free subscription to Salesfinity, so you can use it, make lots of cold calls, get lots of prospect conversations, and generate pipeline. And it's going to be really awesome.
Cold calling's hard, so anything that can make it easier, I'm all about. And Neil, how about you? I'm going to put the clock back up. Could you fill the 2 minutes and tell us your story and how you came to be and create Page.io?
Sure. So my name is Neil. I'm the founder of Page. I guess it all started in college. Like a lot of people, I was working on building consumer apps, and I was just so obsessed with building something that would kind of blow up and everybody would use. And I didn't quite get there, but along the way, I learned just so much about how to build products and how to distribute them and how to get users for them. I got really good at just building and shipping things fast. So then after college, I worked on my first startup with my best friend, and it was an app to record a podcast and share with your friends. And we sold that. And then after that, I went and entered the B2B space. And once I entered the B2B space, I never turned back. I just fell in love with it. It's so much easier than building a consumer product. So I worked at OneSignal for a couple of years and worked on the growth team there. And I saw a lot of the challenges that are involved in scaling a B2B organization, everything from sourcing deals to closing deals. And so I left OneSignal and started my first company, and that was called PandaPose. And that enabled you to personalize your cold emails at scale with personalized images. And so I worked on that for about a year, and then I sold that. And then I worked on another company called Godsend. And much like Mavel and Beck, I got access to GPT back when it was like still only available to developers. And I built an application on it. Unfortunately, the application I was working on didn't really work out. But along the way, I built a lot of internal tools to help me sell the product and get in front of other buyers. And one of the tools I made was this mini landing page, which I would use to pitch my customers and kind of use as a home base throughout the deal so that everyone that was involved in the buying process could access that homepage, that landing page, and me as a seller could get insight into what's going on and who's looking at it. And it turned out nobody wanted the product I was building, but everybody wanted that little landing page thing I made. So I realized that's probably the product to be building. So I pivoted to working all in on that. And that's what's called Page. And so today I'll be giving away 1 month access to Page, where you could go ahead and use Page throughout your sales process to source and close deals as well.
Oh, that's incredible. So both of you have your whole spiel down that you get it across in less than 2 minutes. That's pretty awesome. Way to go.
Well, we see that countdown going down, so I'm like constantly looking at that to figure
No
out
pressure.
how much I'm
Definitely. Well, let's hop right into these hot topics. And Mavelon Beck, I'm going to pull you up. Can you kick us off on this first one? Founder-led sales. This is so important. I get so down on myself. Lydia's awesome because she basically coaches me and like holds me accountable because I don't know.
Coach or bully you into just doing it.
It's hard.
It's rough.
I'm a marketer at heart. And so, but I know founder-led sales is so important and it keeps me in tune with the customers. And I always feel so good after I have those conversations. Can you talk us through and kick us off on this topic, Mavelon Beck?
Yeah, absolutely. And founder-led sales is one of the best things founders can do personally, from my experience. And, when you're starting a company or anything that's commercial, the goal is to build a product, not just the product, but product that people will find useful and that they are ready to pay money for. But if you're, let's say, a founder building your product out there without listening to customer feedback or without even trying to sell, you might end up building something nobody wants, and at the end you will suffer. So early on, when you build product and start selling it right away, without delaying it too far, and you actually connect with your prospects and ask them questions like find out why or why not people are buying your products, and that really helps you to get to product market fit faster. So this is one of the benefits of founder-led sales. Another thing is if you, for example, on the product side and also doing some founder-led sales, let's say there might be demos and the customers might request some features like, oh, we cannot close this deal if you don't include this feature type of things, and then you can build it right away because there's no hierarchy like, oh, let me ask my product team if this is possible, and then go to product team, and the product team asks engineering team, and engineering team needs to get approval. All that's gone. So your founder, you approve it right away, you build it, and next day you come to the customer saying, hey, we already got this, let's sign the deal. So very useful thing. And the only drawback of it is, you are essentially the machine, and whenever you stop, the pipeline stops, and the sales stops. So you always have to keep selling until you find a repeatable process, and then build out your sales team to keep the machine going.
Hey, I have a quick question, Mavelon Beck. So, it comes down to process and being able to scale, but like how many, I think, I've had a lot of conversations with founders where product market fit is hard to confirm with like 2 or 3 customers. At what point do you think it makes sense to pull in a sales team? Like at how many customers or what revenue kind of tier, or is there an answer to that?
Yeah, it's a good question. To be honest, I don't know exactly when you should start, but for us, we already have hundreds of people using our software, and we're still doing founder-led sales, and now starting to bring on the other sellers because it's becoming quite unmanageable to do
There's
all of
only
that by
one you.
ourselves.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
I mean, it really depends. I mean, 2-3 customers POCs doesn't mean you have a product market fit. I mean, when things maybe blow up, that's when you know you have a PMF.
Cool. Jesse, you're
I think
muted.
you are muted.
PMF, product market fit. We did a whole session on that in the Taking Up Space group. If you were there for that, put, I don't know, hashtag PMF. But man, that is really the thing that's so hard. And founder-led sales, I feel like, is helpful because like you're the creator and you know your brand and where you want to go and where you can go, you know, with these, some of these conversations. But Neil, what would you add to this conversation?
I could not agree more with everything Malambach just said. I mean, I think doing the founder-led sales in the beginning is so important because you just, especially in the early stages, it's all about collecting as much feedback as you can from the market. And the feedback can come in many ways. It's everything from how best to position your product to how to talk about your competitors to what kind of features you need to build next. And the shorter that loop is of collecting that feedback and integrating into your product and then reiterating on it, the faster your company can move. And I think one of the mistakes that a lot of companies make is they try scaling up the organization really fast because that's what they think you're supposed to do. And the problem with doing that is you're kind of pushing yourself away from the market without really understanding what the market wants in the first place. So I think everything Malambach said is exactly right. Like, especially if the founder in the beginning can start doing those sales, then they get a really good understanding of what the market wants. And then once you have that product market fit, once you have people who are interested in the product, and once you know how to go tackle the market, then it's so much easier to bring in a sales rep and enable them to go conquer the market with the right messaging and the right product. But without that product market fit in the beginning, it's just so much harder.
100%. All great points. And I'd love to know what the audience thinks about founder-led sales. So if anyone has any questions or comments on founder-led sales, I'd love to see those. Otherwise, let's move into our second topic. Neil, can you kick us off? We're switching gears now to email, which we talk about a lot here on Whiskey Wednesday. So email tracking pitfalls. So the open rates are bogus. What else are you going to fill us in on here, Neil?
Yeah. So I think every sales rep basically religiously checks their email tracking feed to know who's opening their email and knowing when to best follow up with them. And it's really important to do that because it's basically giving you an indicator of who's interested, when's the right time to reach out to them. You know, are these people actually reading the stuff I'm sending them, all that kind of stuff. And for a long time, it was pretty much okay. It was pretty reliable to keep an eye on that. But what happened a couple of years ago is there was a technology change in that whenever you send an email to somebody now, if they open it on, or if they're using Gmail or if they have an iPhone, then a lot of those email tools will now try to open the email before you even open the email yourself. And the reason they do that is because they're checking to see if there's any spam inside it. And some more of the sophisticated tools like Gmail will go a step further, and they'll actually click on some of the links as well in the email to see whether, you know, where that link is leading to. Because the last thing they want is for a customer to open an email inside Gmail and then be led to spam. And so they put all these precautions in place out of really good intention to make sure that the recipient has a really good experience. And the problem is that along the way, they're opening the links, they're clicking the links, and they're opening the emails. And sales reps are kind of in the dark now of, is my message actually being read? Are these people actually engaging with the stuff that I'm sending them? Is there actually activity internally? And nothing's more awkward than seeing an email open and then following up with somebody and it turns out they never even read the message in the first place. And so I think a lot of sellers are left astray there. And so there's a lot of tools that are emerging now to kind of help solve this. And I think one thing I'm really excited about is just how much more insight sellers are able to get now. Because for a long time, all you could just see is if they open the email or not. But it turns out there's so much that happens, after that email is opened. And the reason why sellers are so insistent on checking that stuff is because knowing what buyers are doing when you're not on the phone with them says everything about how interested they really are. And so for a long time, I could just see if they open the email. And nowadays, we're seeing a lot of these tools that emerge. They give you a lot more insight, like who's reading it, how long are they reading it, who are they sharing it with? And the more insight that the seller has is actually better for the buyer because now they're going to follow up with you at the right time and the right messaging and not just being like the annoying seller that everybody dislikes. So I think a lot of this tracking stuff that's emerging is really good for the market.
Yeah, that's a great point. And it's so hard. I like to, for my tracking personally with email, I like to look at reply rates. That's for me, an indication, especially positive replies compared to negative replies. But I don't know, what would you guys add to this, Mavlon Beck?
Yeah, sounds like I'm not the most knowledgeable person on this topic, but I definitely agree with everything that's already been said. That I just like to follow the best practices. Some people even are saying like you should turn off those scripts, uh, open rates, those kind of stuff don't matter. Just make sure you are using one domain, one email. Don't use company domain. Those kind of stuff, like obviously everybody knows about. So following best practices and not relying too much on open rates, click rates, all that kind of stuff, which could be inflated in many ways.
And can we just get a shout out really quick for Jesse Oyette? Everybody go tag him in the comments. He has transformed so many of our lives. I mean, not to be dramatic, but like the way that we do our outreach. So if you are unsure about rumors and new trends and things in emails, you got to be following him. That's where I try to stay on top of everything.
Me too. I learned a lot from him. His posts.
He's the best. Yeah.
Definitely. I couldn't agree more. Jesse L, that's awesome. I just tagged him in the comments, but is there anything more, Neil, that you would want to share with the audience on email tracking?
Yeah. You know, what's interesting is for a long time, everybody was embracing these tools. And I think Jesse will be the first to tell you that one of the best practices now is to kind of just get rid of like this email tracking in general. So all these tools kind of out of the box say track email opens, track link clicks. That stuff is actually really, really bad for email deliverability because now Gmail knows that, you're trying to throw in all these little gimmicks in order to get some more insight into what's going on. And it can really be used in the wrong way. And so not only is it misleading, but it can also hurt your emails in general. So I highly encourage everybody to turn email tracking that everybody sees that's common right now in most of these apps, like tracking opens and link clicks off, and try switching to another tool that gives you a lot more insight, but does it in a way that doesn't hurt your email deliverability.
Do you have a favorite tool that does that? Just out of curiosity.
Well, it just so happens that I'm in that market and I'm building a product in that market, but there's a bunch of tools posted. Yeah, there's a bunch of tools out there that are trying to conquer this or work in the space.
Very cool.
We have a tool that will be doing that. That's sponsoring Whiskey Wednesday. We'll be announcing soon for Q4. So I am excited to work with them. They're going to be awesome. So can't wait for that. But yeah, you definitely should use domain rotation and just plain text email, right? Don't put I know I'm a former CMO, current fractional CMO, and I will say sales teams should not have their images or logos in their signature, no links in the signature for cold emails. You should give them their own separate domain or domains, multiple domains, and make sure that they're getting warmed up. There's a lot of really modern ways to do this, but anything else you all want to add on this before we move on?
I think we covered a lot of it.
Yeah, we did. Okay, well then we have some more hot topics that we'll get into. Make sure that you're entering to win these hot prizes, which includes, different coaching programs, courses, and software licenses. You'll have some more time to enter to win because we will be giving the prizes away at the end of the show. But before we get into topic 3, let's hear a brief message from one of our partners.
Want to build a website but don't know where to start? Visit BrittanyHonkamp.com and watch my free Build Your Site Right video. Follow my step-by-step instructions to build your business's website on a solid foundation that can scale as you grow.
Big thanks to Brittany. She is hopefully, I think I saw her in the chat. I think she put #PMF because she was at the PMF course. But yeah, she's awesome. If you need help with your website, definitely reach out to her. If she's not the right fit, she knows a lot of people who are, but she works on some really awesome large websites for bigger companies. But let's move into topic 3. So This is a good one. Mastering the art of cold calling in B2B. So, Mavlon Beck, this is so hard for so many people. I know Lydia, she and I talk about this a lot. I struggle with it. How can we master this? What do we need to know?
Yeah, great question. I mean, cold calling was absolutely like foreign thing for me until like last year. And then when I started building Salesfinity, it had to be done like one way or another. So for me, I consider cold calling as like just having a conversation with somebody who might potentially have the problem that you are able to solve. Basically, like you come with a point of view about somebody's problem, like ask them if they have that problem and validate if they have, and then try to book a meeting with them. Most people consider like get afraid maybe sometimes, oh, I'm reaching out to somebody who might be smarter than me or high position or something like that. You should forget about everything and just go like, hey, man, do you have this problem? And I'm here to help. And this kind of approach. And this helped me a lot. And I make cold calls a lot in our business using our tool. And it has helped me a lot. So also, like sometimes people say like, oh, I'm busy, I'm not interested, those kind of stuff. Usually that doesn't mean like they're not interested or you're a horrible person or anything like that. It might mean like sometimes you may not sound clear or stuff like that. So basically, you should prepare for some of the objections like this, the common ones, and have some script and the practice. Practice makes it perfect. So the more you make cold calls, the more people you have conversations with, and the better you get. It's just a simple process, and you should not overthink it. Just feel like you're having conversation with somebody. And I usually, when somebody struggles, I tell them like, hey, imagine you are a fireman and there is a fire and you are going there. Don't be afraid. You are there to help them to set out the fire, and they should be very happy that you actually visited them. So that's kind of, if you think about like this, maybe it could make it easier to make cold calls.
Looks like we got a comment from Jenna here related to what you were talking about. What if you're in a market like me, payment processing, where those you could call don't see any issue in their processing? If it's not broken, don't fix it.
I mean, it's sometimes it's about the messaging. So for that, you should test out different value propositions. And everyone has problems in their lives. The question is, are you using the right words, and are you touching basing on the right problems? Because some problems are worth solving, some problems are not worth solving. So your job is, if you're selling something, test out different messaging, different value propositions, different problem statements, and once you find the winning one, you're just gonna scale it up. It's kind of like running ads, for example. You never know what works. You just need to A/B test different creatives, and then and something will click.
That's funny you say that, because I've called cold calling to some people who are against it. I'm like, just think of it as a calling advertisement. You're not going to close a deal, but you're getting another impression. And I still stand by that. But what were you going to say, Lydia?
I was just going to say it's really important. A/B testing is critical, right? To figure out what's working. But also, it's great to give a value. But again, if there's no problem, that's not really going to be valuable. So thinking through the cost of an action and the implications of those problems that maybe that person isn't thinking about can be really helpful. Give them a new point of view. Another thing to think about is maybe you're not calling the right person. I've often found that like certain titles that I think would be a slam dunk just don't care enough about the big picture. Not that they don't care, but it's not part of their job to care about the implication of whatever challenge it is. Maybe it's their boss's concern. And so test out different titles, different value props, different problem messaging. And like Madeline Beck said, A/B test until you figure out what works. Sometimes sales is just this huge experiment.
Oh, I just said that in coaching today too. It's like, think of marketing like the scientific method, and you have a hypothesis or an exploratory question, and you're gonna go figure out how you're gonna test it. You're gonna set your goal. Like, what are you looking to accomplish here? And then you're gonna go out and do it and give it some time. But yeah, anything else you all want to add on this topic? I mean, we could probably go on a little longer.
I could go on all day.
I know, right? Anyone in the comments have any more questions on cold calling? Who here does cold calling? Like, if you do cold calling in your day-to-day, put 1 in the comments. If you've never made a cold call in your life, put 2 in the comments. So if you're doing cold calling right now, I guess, or ever, like, so you understand it. So maybe you've been a BDR at one point, put a 1. I want to know how many people have felt this, because like, I was a BDR at one point. I probably wasn't the best one because all of our leads were inbound. Mid-marketing.
Well, here's a fun fact too. I'm actually working on our second course for the Ruby project with Shannon, and we're going to be launching the cold calling course. So we're going to give you really easy frameworks to like, mindset, kind of get yourself in the right mood and the right mind frame before you make those calls, what you can say, like Madeline Beck said, when people are just not interested in your value prop. So go follow us on LinkedIn. I'll put it in the chat. Sorry to take over again.
Oh, no, not at all. Definitely. Anything more either of you would want to add on cold calling before we move on? If not, I'm going to take us into our 4th topic. So crafting shareable follow-ups for better outreach. For better outreach and prospecting strategies. So Neil, this is your topic. I'm going to put you in here full screen. Can you kick us off on this one and how we can, follow-ups are really hard for me. I hate follow-ups.
Yeah, totally. Happy to go into it. By the way, I really like Seth's comments in the chat. They're hilarious. Okay, so I think one of the mistakes that a lot of sellers make is they don't put enough value into the way they're following up with their buyers after a call. It turns out, and I think it's my opinion, that a lot of the buying that happens when somebody buys your product is not actually during the call. It's what's happening between each calls or after each call. And the reason for that is because that's when they're taking time to evaluate your tool internally. Your champions are taking, the pitch that you share with them, and they're sharing it with their buying community, with their managers. And there's a lot of things you want to get right in that process. The first one is just making sure that they're championing your tool in the way that you want. So they're talking about your product in the way you want. You've made sure that that you've identified all the right pains that are going to resonate with them, and you're sharing that with them. So that way they can take that internally and really sell it to the rest of the company. So it's really about just empowering your champion to sell internally within the company. But there's also other factors at play. So for example, what happens if now's not a good time for somebody to buy from your company? And maybe 6 months is. You want to make sure you give them some sort of follow-ups. That way they can come back and check in on that. So that way they can still keep that deal moving forward. And so there's so many factors that go into making sure that you're enabling your buyers to sell you internally. But I think an even more important part of that is you as a seller getting insight into what's happening once that happens. And so again, I think, we talked about email tracking, and just keeping an eye on when is the right time to follow up with folks is important. But I think the more data you can collect behind that, the better you can do at selling. So for example, rather than just knowing if somebody's opened your email, I think you want to get a lot more insight into who's viewing it and how much time they're viewing it. So that way you have a better insight into who to be following up with and when's the right time to follow up with them. So it's not just about sending them the right follow-up, but it's also about making sure that you're following up with them at the right time and you're following up with the right people. So again, give people a really good follow-up, and I can expand on that if you'd like, and what goes into a good follow-up, but also making sure that you're getting insight into what's happening after you send that follow-up so you can make sure you're on top of that deal.
Sending the right content at the right time frame really matters too. I know someone was telling us today, Jesse, that they were getting follow-up messages on how they were liking a product before they had even signed the order. I got a call from somebody who asked how I was enjoying the product that I'm not even using. So that can be really kind of make or break for your brand.
Yeah, I think you want to follow up with people when they have you top of mind. A lot of times we follow up with people just because, we got a calendar reminder saying it's been 3 days and they haven't replied, or, it's been a week and they haven't replied. So let me go ahead and follow up with them. And the problem with that is you're following up with people, which is good, but you're not doing it when they're thinking about you. And so it's all about increasing the chances of following up with them when they have you top of mind. So the more insight you get into when they have you top of mind, the better off you'll be.
Man, what do you do with follow-up, Mavlon Beck? What's your trick?
I follow up on the phone most of the time. I don't like to email most of the time because it's not descriptive enough. And then when you are talking voice to voice, you actually know like are they actually interested or no, and like you can cut through some of the fluff basically and get to the chase. And this is what I do most of the time.
That's so true. There's nothing more powerful than just picking up the phone and having a conversation with somebody. I mean, tone can be misconstrued in email.
Exactly.
You're asked, yeah.
Definitely. What do you guys think about like audio messages on like a LinkedIn DM or WhatsApp DM?
I try to stay away from those as much as I can. I always thought it was pretty clever, right? It's like a different way of reaching out to people, and it stands out, and it's different than like a message. And then I've gotten audio messages, and it's like I have to basically sit there for 60 seconds and listen to it, because especially on LinkedIn, I can't even listen to it at 2x speed. And then they'll send me like 3 of them, so I'm just listening there for 1 minute, 2 minutes sometimes, and they could have just sent me like a sentence or some bullet points. So I think it's good if you have a lot of information to share, and that's like the only way you can share it. But I think always thinking about how do I share information so that my recipient can consume it as fast as possible is more important.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a great point. I like to use the LinkedIn DM like audio thing, I guess, not to like follow up on a sale though, but to like acknowledge someone who might be in my audience, but it's just like, I'm trying to have a conversation. Like, what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, it's a great way to break through the noise, that's for sure, and connect with people. They see more than just your face and some text. They see some audio. So I think you're totally right. Like it humanizes the message.
Yeah, I don't know. I go back and forth, but in terms of follow up, it's so hard. I want to hear from people in the comments. Like, what are you guys doing to follow up? What would be your suggestions to me to help me with follow up? I'm going to hand that one over to you, Lydia. Like, man, I was getting so like giddy the other night, right? When we were doing follow up. Because I was just getting so nervous, and she's like, just send the email or send the message. And I was like, like,
because we get so caught up in like, what do I want to say? And it's like, what do you want to say? Just write it all out, and then go back with the delete button and take out what's not adding value or what's not impactful. I think sometimes we just get so obsessed with like how an email should be written or how things should be said that we kind of get away from like, just what are you asking for? Just say it. What's the worst that's going to happen? Somebody's going to say no. Well, it's not the first time and it won't be the last. So
definitely. Yeah. Well, any last tips for the audience or any last questions on follow-ups? Man, we really haven't talked about follow-ups a lot on Whiskey Wednesday, actually.
I haven't.
This is a really good topic because, man, it is hard.
Can we just eliminate the thoughts ? From like everybody's strategy? Nobody wants to get that. So that's one of the do not ever do things.
Yeah, I never respond to those.
Yeah.
I have a funny tactic. Like I've tried so many different ways of getting people to come back from the dead when they've ghosted me. And by far the best strategy is just to say their name. So I'll say like Lydia with a question mark, and that works so well.
I was doing some email coaching yesterday with Hunter Thompson from Proposify, and he had that in his sequence, and I was like, get that out of there now. And he's like, this gets the most replies. And I was like, you know what? If it's working, then do it.
Yeah. It's short, it's simple, it's personalized, I guess. So in a funny way.
I mean, when I get emails like that, I'm just like, oh, you're so rude. But it depends on who you're reaching out to, right? So back to Mavlon Beck's thing is A/B test everything, right?
Yeah. I also used this one. Did you give up on this? And I got always get responses on that. I think it's from this Never Split the Difference one, the book, negotiation book.
Yeah, Chris Voss.
He shares a lot of good stuff. So I used this and it was really helping.
That's awesome.
That is
Do you-
awesome.
There was just a question about Loom or
Ooh, let's go back. Who had a Loom
I think
question?
it was Jenna.
Does anyone use SalesSpark or Loom? I've used Loom and I've suggested Loom to people. I haven't used SalesSpark.
Yeah, what do you guys think about video prospecting?
It's also good. Oh, go ahead, Neil.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say it works really well. I did a lot of it, mostly just showing my face and talking to the camera, like a 30-second video.
Is that in the body or in the subject line? I don't know what that's in reference to. Do either?
I think that's just like the name thing. Yeah, I usually like just put it in the like a reply to the email in the body, just saying the name.
Mm.
Yeah, I feel like if you can't customize it properly, then just don't, because it comes off as like really, impersonal.
All these tactics, like they're pretty good if no one else is doing it. When everyone starts doing it, it just looks so bad. So I think at this point we kind of
Yeah.
stage where everyone's doing it.
You want to be a pattern interrupt, and it's not
Yeah.
really a pattern
Yeah.
interrupt, especially if you're showing
I-
up on a video with like your clipboard or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the
I-
thing. You're
I-
so right, though, Neil. Everyone's going to start doing it at some point. So then you've got to move on to the next thing that everybody else isn't doing, and just be relevant. Be, relevant, impactful, and like don't be a crappy salesperson.
Be bold, like
Yeah.
be different.
Madeline Beck, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I recently saw a funny thing. One guy literally, I think it was Venmo or PayPal, once sent to the prospect's email with a note like, "Hey, I've been trying to reach you," this kind of stuff. And obviously, you received one payment from PayPal. People opened and saw that, and it was kind of funny.
Mhm.
That is hilarious. Well, you all have just a few more seconds to, well, maybe minutes, because we can do the guru of the week still. The guru of the week. So we have to get into prizes, but before we get into guru of the week, make sure that you're entering to win these prizes. So do you guys both want to share a little bit more about your prize? So page.io. Let me go ahead and pull you up here again, Neil. So when people are commenting to win and tagging page.io in the comments, tell us again exactly what they are entering to win.
Sure, and I think I see a few customers here as well, or people who've tried out the product. So Page basically is a self-service product where you could sign up and start using it to create great follow-ups and get a lot of that tracking insight that I talked about. It's really built for AEs and SDRs to follow up with folks and really help move that deal. If you feel like a lot of your deals are kind of going cold or people are not replying, then this is definitely something to try out to help keep your deals moving forward. And so today we'll be giving away 1 month free of Page. And so you can use it all throughout the deal cycle, use it as much as you want, and hopefully start closing more deals as we wrap up the quarter.
Ah, yes, that's incredible. And Mavlon Beck, thank you so much to you as well. And you gave a prize. So if people are tagging right now Salesfinity in the comments, what exactly are they entering to win? Could you tell us again?
Yeah, they are entering to win 1 month of subscription for Salesfinity AI Payroll Dialer, which they can use to make more cold calls, speak to more people, and generate pipeline for them. Book a lot of meetings.
Yes. Book a lot of meetings, y'all. We need that. Who here is feeling the end of the quarter? Let's put a 1 if you're someone who's like, on the deadline and you like have to think about the quarter. Look, my earring fell out. I'll just take the other out. And if you're not, so if, the quarter, if maybe you're in another position where you don't have all this pressure on the quarter, put a 2. But for anyone who's putting a 1, and you're really on the deadline for the quarter, just know that we're all here sending you some love. Let us know what we can do to support you. You have a few more days left. If you need to join a community, I know a lot of free ones. I personally have the Women Wave Warriors, and you can join that. Of course, it's just women. That's in WhatsApp. And then we have a Reveting community in Slack, which is men and women and everybody. So yeah, come out and join us if you need support throughout these times. But I like to encourage people to celebrate your wins, even your small wins. If you don't win any deals, like waking up is a win. Like, we have to wake up and just be happy to be here. And, we're not all going to win them. Times are a little bit tough right now. If you're struggling in sales, just know it's not just you. But I'm giving you a few more seconds to enter to win these prizes. But we need to get into the guru of the week. Ooh, ooh. So, Neil, who do you think everyone in our audience should go follow immediately, and everyone should tag and just totally spam on LinkedIn right now by tagging them in the comments? Who's a newcomer?
Yeah, I really like Matt Binder. He is a AE at Salesforce. I think if you look up on LinkedIn, it's MattHewbinder. He's also doing like a live show now on I think Tuesdays, where he's helping sellers get really good at selling and bringing together the best AEs. So, and I actually started talking to him before I even started working on my company, and he had just so much great feedback to share with me. So super nice guy, super helpful guy. And he has some hilarious memes and posts that he makes as well on LinkedIn. So definitely reach out to him, talk to him. He's amazing.
That's awesome. I just tagged him in the comments. So if anyone else wants to tag him, that'd be awesome. Go follow him. And Matt Beck, how about you? Who would be your guru of the week?
Yeah, I would ask people to follow Omar Abu Afandi. He's my co-founder. He leads up the revenue team on our team. Very smart, very energetic, hardworking guy. So follow Omar Abu Afandi.
Can you spell his last name?
Sure. A-B-O-U-F.
Found him.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, other guru of the week. That's awesome. That's the guru of the week. Woo-hoo. So, congratulations to both of them. If everyone could just tag them, and then as you tag them, just go follow them, because it sounds like they have really awesome content. And let's go ahead and give away these prizes.
Yay.
So
many this week.
I'm know.
So excited.
Get started here. Let me share my screen. We'll go ahead and start with prize 1, which was my coaching program. There are 5 entries of people who put in creativity. So who wants those free 30 days of the group coaching session?
Where's our music?
Jenna! Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for joining, Jenna. Congratulations. Thank you so much for being here, Jenna. And we will follow up with an email. So just, FYI for anyone who wins, if you do win, then we will collect your email at reveting.com/winner. That's where you can go, Jenna, and fill out that form. And then my VA will have your information, and they'll connect you with me, but I know you, so I'll be connected with you anyway. But for those other prize winners who are about to win here in just a moment, that is the steps you need to follow as well, just so we have your email and can connect you. And speaking of email, #email, 6 entries for Task Minions and the Ruby Project. Who's it gonna be? I think I saw Dean and Jamie and Lauren and Aviv. Jamie, congratulations. You won VA services and the Ruby Project course. Congratulations. That is amazing. So I know you're connected with Lydia, but if you could just fill out the form, then Task Minions will reach out and connect you with the others. So that's exciting. Let's go ahead and move on to prize 3, which is Lavender. 5 entries here. Who's it going to be? Lydia, do I see you in there?
I didn't mean to. I think I just said the word. So if I get it, you can redraw. Oh, yay.
Congratulations. Thank you so much for entering to win. Go to reveting.com/winner to claim to win your prize. We'll get your email address there. Let me pull up this next one. Sharing. Headset advisor. 8 entries for headset advisors. Is it Dan? Is it Aviv? Is it Cliff? Is it Sarah? Jenna? Seth? Nate? Dan? Virginia? Aviv? Oh my gosh!
Oh my gosh!
Whoa, he's
your lucky night.
Maybe you need to go, I don't know, buy a lottery ticket.
Buy a lottery ticket.
But congratulations on that. And headset advisor trips to the US and Canada. So Aviv, if you're still watching, I just want to confirm your location. Let's go into openbox.ai That is Carrie, Aviv, Christina, Jenna, Carrie.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah, is
He's
online.
gonna win it all.
I don't know, man. He's like lucky tonight. So here we go. I'm going to go back. So Aviv, just fill out the form once because then we'll have your information connect you to all these brands.
You're going to have like the whole tech stack you need right here.
I mean, it makes our job a little easier. So last prize. Who's going to win this one? Paige, 6 entries. Wait, did we do Salesfinity yet? That might be one we still have to give away.
No, that's number 7.
Brittany, Christina, Nate, Brittany, congratulations.
Oh, yay.
You are the winner. So excited.
Was that for open box or for Paige?
Paige.
That one
Okay.
was for Paige. Yes. And let me move on to the last prize to give away. Salesfinity. There are 8 entries for Salesfinity. Who's it gonna be? Jamie, Dean, Carrie, Aviv, Nate, Jamie, Jenna, Brittany. We got some triple and double winners tonight. That's
Nice.
awesome. Congratulations. And let me just check that we have done all of the drawings, and that is it. Congratulations to all of our winners. So excited
So
for all of
fun.
them. Yeah, so visit reveting.com/winner if you won once again, and we will connect you via email. Aviv says WTF. He won. Congratulations. And I can check with Headset Advisor depending on where you're located, but
He's in Canada, so we should be
okay,
good.
perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we go, Mavlon Beck, how can the audience reach you if they want to connect after the show?
Yeah, absolutely. If they can reach out to me via LinkedIn, linkedin.com/in/Mavlonbeck. Happy to chat and network and help with whatever I can help.
That's awesome. And Neil, how about you? How can our audience find you?
Yeah, same thing on LinkedIn, linkedin.com/in/Gandhi Neil, GandhiNeil. And Brittany, reach out to me and I'll get you set up with Paige. And everybody else who's listening, if you want access, let me know and I'll set everyone a discount that's listening for
Awesome.
20% off. So everybody.
Oh,
get in.
yay. And don't forget, if you didn't catch the code, just DM me on LinkedIn. I'll give you the 20% off for the Ruby project too. I love that we just give so much away to all of you guys.
Absolutely. And if anyone's interested, we've got the after party tonight. I have a new redirect to make it easier on everyone. Now for the after party, you can just go to reveting.com/afterparty and that will redirect you to the Zoom. And this is a private Zoom where I will be. Lydia, are you going to make it tonight?
I'm going to have to skip tonight. Sorry.
Oh, boo. Hate to hear that. And how about our guests? Will you guys be able to join, meet some of the audience members?
I still have to eat dinner and it's 9 o'clock.
No.
So
I understand.
might have to grab some food.
I completely understand.
Yes,
Mavlon
I'm
Beck,
here. It's
you have
7
to
p.m.
go.
It was a long
Aw.
day, and my daughter and wife waiting and have dinner.
Oh, yeah,
so
you have to go. You have more important things. I completely understand. But I will still be there. If anyone from the audience wants to recap on anything, just go to reveting.com/afterparty and I will see you there. And until next week, thank you everybody so much for coming. I really appreciate your time.
See ya. I'll jump in
Thank
for a
you,
little bit.
guys.
I'll see you for a few minutes.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I will see you there. I'm going to close this out with a video. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
You know who made it.